candle that it's February, guys.
And then I bet he's not even
He's gone. It's not coming back till next year. So, here we go.
Can we, so could you pick either one to do?
Yeah, but
can we do the last one?
What you want to do is you want to get it down to 2 variables instead of 3.
So the first one.
So this one only has 2 variables, and this one only has 2 variables. Are they the same 2 variables?
Yes.
You can jump right into it.
Cause that, you mean like lined up, right? Like Y and Z.
You can solve.
Oh, girl.
You can solve these just like a good old regular system of equations and solve for Y and Z, and then just go back and figure out what X is. Does that make sense?
I'm not upset.
One thing I will tell you, if you are somebody who, when solving things algebraically, goofs up on negatives and such, and it frustrates you because these are such long problems, something you can do is put all 3 of these in standard form, put it in your calculator so you can to see what already the answer is, so as you're going through you know that you get the right answer. Does that make sense?
Nah, that sounds
Like, yeah, no, I get what you're saying, but I don't like that.
So, I'm going to show you real quick. If you put this in standard form, right, I don't have any x's in the first guy. 4y, 3z, did the calculator steps make sense on your notes?
Yeah.
Yeah. This guy has 1x. We'd have to move the negative 3y to the other side, which would make it a positive 3y. And you'd have to move the positive 6z to the other side. Okay? And then same deal with this last one. There's no x's. There's 1y minus 6z, and it equals 12. If you put this into your calculator and you already know what the answer is, yes, you still need to solve it algebraically and show that work to get full points, right? Because that's the whole thing. It's got to be graded really specifically, and I'm not going to lie, that's how college professors are. They tell you to solve something a certain way, you got to solve it that way. That way you'll already know, and I can't tell you how many times I did this in college. I would just jump right to the answer with my calculator, and then I'd figure out all the other stuff backwards. So as I went through the problem, I know I got it right. Instead of solving this for z, if you mess up z, you're going to mess up x and y. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Someone's so excited all the time. It's so much fun. Okay? So, go ahead and throw this in your calculator. I'm going to pause the recording so you don't have to listen to me do this. Did you already do it? Okay, what's the answer?
-5, 6, -1.
And I know that this seems like the dumbest thing ever because you already know the
I
answer,
know you just made
but it's the process that we're looking for. Okay?
You're putting all of those. They're going to have a 3 by 4. Well, how do we even get that?
Well, we're going to practice that more today anyway, so don't stress about the calculator stuff right now if that's what you're stressed about. Alright, how do I solve this guy for x or z or y? You can solve with elimination, substitution, whatever you want.
The 0, the 4, the 3, the 21. What makes you put your negatives in there?
If I just want to solve that guy, what do I do? I think it's set up for elimination. But you got to get
Multiply by 4.
Multiply by 4, we do that. It would have to be a -4. So be aware of that. If we multiply this guy by a -4, that'll knock that one out, right?
Right.
Alright, so I'm going to copy that guy over. I've got 4y plus 3z equals 21. If I multiply by -4, -4y, what's -4 times -6? Positive 24. And -4 times 12.
No, wrong.
Okay. And then add them up. So what do I get? 27z equals -27. How convenient. Because what is z supposed to equal? Is that going to make it -1? That way you know you did it right. You see what I'm saying? How nice is it? Isn't that nice?
That's bro.
It's what they pay me the not so big bucks for, guys.
How did you just make up that a 0x is going to be in front of that?
Because if there's no x's, there's 0 of them. It's just how many x's you have.
But the things are up there. Okay. Ooh, it does.
You're allowed to use a calculator, absolutely not.
Yeah, well.
No. Oh my gosh. I could see where you would. This is a good conversation. Don't take my reaction to it. That's actually a very, very legitimate conversation, and I feel like you guys get cornered thinking that stuff like this is cheating, but it's not. You're just using your resources. If you're allowed to use a calculator, why wouldn't? And it can check your answer. Why wouldn't you? If the teacher didn't want you to, he would not give you the calculator for that section of the test. Does that make sense? And he might, depending on your class, your professor and whatever, and she might not give it to you for the test. Does that make sense? But I'm letting you know right now, today, I mean, we're going to do them with the calculators, and I want you to practice both anyway. Do you see what I'm saying? Because it's really frustrating to go through. If you got -2 here, it would mess up everything else. And you would be mad, and then a lot of them start throwing things against the wall. Yep. Mr. Kagan's going to get mad because he hears it through the wall, right? And then they're going to have to bring down Officer Scott, and then a lot of it's going to be like a DirecTV commercial, right? Okay?
Yeah, DirecTV.
I'm glad that you said that, because I think that is something that you guys have kind of in your head, and it's not. That's not cheating at all. That's just using your resources. And there is a difference there. Your neighbor's not a resource. You know what I'm saying? Or your phone is not allowed to be a resource.
They have a calculator on it.
Like looking up notes during it, you know what I mean? Like, alright, so, if you know what Z is, can you figure out Y?
Yes.
Sure. I'm going to use this one because it only has one Y.
Plug it. Oh, no. Couldn't you plug it into the regular thing? Oh, it is.
Alright, so what do you get here?
Negative, I'm at positive 6.
Okay.
Equals 12.
Beautiful.
Minus 6 equals 6. Yes. That was so easy.
And I'll also tell you, if you go through the practice and you already have the answer in front of you, you're going to get so much more confident with the algebra piece to this. Because isn't that what you always want to know? You want to know that you're doing it right as you're going through?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've met you all.
Calculators could be wrong.
As long as you type it in carefully, they're not. Alright, last piece. Can I figure out what X is?
Mr. Janelle,
Did I get
calculators are stupid.
They're really, really smart if you use them properly.
So that means you're stupid. Okay.
Basically.
No.
You just made a mistake.
What is
No,
that?
it just means you need to be careful.
Oh,
my,
like an equal sign?
yeah, the pen just likes to.
Okay, so for Y equals, does that say Y equals, or does that say Y negative 6?
So this was Y minus 6. I threw the Y, the X, the Z part into here to solve for Y.
No, your answer, does that say
Y basic?
Oh, okay.
Yep. Alright, and then X, we've got a big old equation for that guy. We got 3 times Y plus 6 times Z plus 19. And we know both of those values. We know that Z is -1. And we know that Y is 6. And you can throw that all into your lovely calculator. Or you can do it by hand. What's -3 times 6?
18.
-18. 6 times -1.
Negative 6.
And then plus 19.
And then the rest
Those
of the
two are definitely the easiest to add up. -18 and 19
I meant 1.
is just 1 minus 6. -5.
Perfect, man. I did.
And was that the right answer?
Yeah.
There you go. Does that make sense? They're a little long, which is kind of annoying,
It's actually not that bad.
but it's not that bad, right?
It's like easy peasy.
Cool.
Sleepy.
So I wouldn't know how to start with substitution and elimination. Because I think.
Substitution we already did. You remember when we did f of g of x? That's substitution.
Yeah, but
But you already know that, right? Because you're just putting in the big set of parentheses and plugging something else into it. Elimination, all you're doing is you're making the coefficients line up. If this is a 4, we want this to be a -4. And we're actually adding the equations together. We want to make one positive and one negative. You could have multiplied the top one by 2, so then you'd have a -6 and a +6, and they would have canceled out and you would have solved for y first.
So then you do have a problem, like, where you like, you're not studying the other like, how would you would pick the one that has, that does, you know how they match Y and Z?
Yes.
The one that would have Y.
Yeah, you just solve for one of them and throw them in the other one. And we're going to get some practices today. Okay? You'll feel better after practicing these like I do. You'll pick up on it. Okay? Alright, awesome. Let's look at the word problem. Great questions, guys.
I get it, Elise.
You think you got it?
Yeah.
Alright, you got 3 variables. What three things are we chatting about?
Kit Kats get 11.
We got some Kit Kats.
You're old.
Kit Kats are delicious. We have, we should make Skittles purple, I feel like. Skittles.
Okay, so you can use those variables.
You can use whatever variables make you happy. I think using those letters make more sense instead of translating back and forth to X and Y.
I know, but
I mess it up every time. if I go back and forth. Set it all up, and then if you want to throw it into X, Y, and Z, you can. Okay, so the music department is selling 3 types of candy, Kit Kat, Skittles, and M&M's. On the first day, on the first, wow, this is, that's rough. Okay, on the first day, this is how I feel when I read some stuff that you guys write, just so you're aware. I'll show you a sticky note that I got from a child that I was like, picture, Facebook. They sold 2 Kit Kats. So we got 2 Kit Kats. They sold 4 Skittles. You might want to do a cursive S because S's turn into 5 very easily and it gets scary. And 1 M&M. And what did they get? Equals $10. Okay?
But it says $30 right there.
We just looked at this sentence.
Oh. Okay, sorry.
On the second day, they sold a Kit Kat. They sold 2 Skittles. And they sold 3 M&M's. They scolded them, earning them a lovely grand total of, $10 again. This is the chicken problem. You remember the chicken problem we did with the little chicken and the big
Yeah.
You can solve that with this, with systems.
You need to make cursive S's, because that really clarifies.
Is it just going to mess up your life?
Yeah. Sorry.
I understand. No, I'd rather you tell me, because we can take care of it.
Damn it, you just erased the plus sign.
Yeah. Guess what? I can redraw it. It's going to be okay.
Good.
S.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
S.
What? What's the cursive S? Because it literally looks like a 5 9. You look like a 5.
Okay. Last one. So we did that one. We did this one.
A banana pig.
Last one. On the third day. 12 Kit Kats. They're on a roll now. 12 Kit Kats. Woo!
4 Skittles!
4 Skittles.
6 M&M's.
Holy guacamole. I would have bought all the
And
M&M's.
$30.
$30. That's when they really started taking off with their selling.
Like, is it just one Kit Kat? One.
That doesn't make
One
sense.
Kit is one Kit Kat.
That doesn't make sense, because if you add that up, it doesn't equal 30.
But that's because you don't know what the
You don't know what the price is.
Right? This one's like 50 cents. Right?
Okay.
That one's like 75 cents. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Alright, let's make it into a matrix.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? You're picking up what I'm throwing down.
2,
2.
4, 1, $10.
10.
Can you just make it a 10?
Yeah.
Okay. 1,
And 1.
2,
2.
3,
Easy as
10,
1, 2, 3.
12,
12.
4, 6, 30. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
On your lovely calculator, do you have a calculator in front of you?
You want me to show you?
Go to second matrix.
No, I know how to do it now. I was talking about. She goes to the dictionary. Yeah, I do. I was talking about where did the arrow come from? Second matrix. Edit.
You got an arrow over to edit.
A 3 by 4.
You need to make, very good, this is a 3 by 4. 3 by 4. and throw in your
When you
numbers.
put then it disappears. Because it's not gonna go over that part. It's not
Yeah,
big
the
enough.
screen just can't see this.
When you put then it disappears.
Please be careful when you enter in values, because if you skip one, it gets all sorts of crazy.
Go down to math, you go all the way down to
Okay.
B, you click that mother. And then what? One, those are your
So
answers.
quit out of
Bar
matrix,
break.
quit, go to second matrix and arrow over to math.
Then go down to B.
Why did you
put
put
second quiz?
Quit. Oh.
Oh.
We probably need more coffee today. All right, and if you go down to B, you're gonna take the RREF. I had to do this by hand in college. It's not fun.
So what do we
Second
got in
matrix,
B?
matrix A, and what, my lovelies, are your answers?
It is one, two.
How do you get
I
to
didn't
all
get
of
an
them?
answer.
Second matrix.
What is that?
Go ahead, tell them, you got it.
What do you mean C?
What the heck does that mean?
What does, how do you get the answer? C side, look, no, watch me. Oh, watch me.
You didn't get that in the last column? I got it.
B, D.
Double check your matrix, make sure you're typing all the values correctly.
A. Woohoo!
Take an extra 10, 15 seconds and always double check that you put stuff right in the matrix.
Mine's cute. Look at
You would know at this point.
So does mine.
So what does this mean?
It means Kit Kats are $1.
It does.
Wait,
You're a
what
loser.
It means
Loser.
Kit Kats are $1.
Why do kids bully other kids? I've never had bullying. I have.
I don't know.
But I don't get that because I keep watching these shows about like bullying.
Perfect. Very nice, Steve.
So, are you gonna always make us spell that word from the vocabulary, or are you gonna make us do it by hand? We don't know how to do it by hand. Yes, we do. No, we don't. Good.
Good question. Good question.
I'm gonna do
I could do either.
Wait, so how do you do it by hand? How do you do it by hand?
Doing the other one. It's just like we did the first one. And just like we'll do the other for exercise.
You just have to decipher which one is what.
Wait.
And which one is X and Y.
Yeah.
I got all these zeros, so we just ignore those. That is called an identity.
Pause my recording. You're recording us?
Yeah.
I record the one with
Ooh.